Hey guys, Artosis here, and today I'm going to be casting a match from the NA Team Battle. This is an event that the top players in North America play against each other quite often, and all very, very strong players. So let's check them out. This is going to be going on for the next few days in this channel as we go through an entire team battle that they played. So we have here in the bottom left, StRyKeR. He is one of the newer top American players, a very, very strong Zerg player. I personally played him a ton of times, and he is really good, I would say, especially at Zerg vs. Terran. And his opponent in the top left, played him quite a few times as well. It is Just, still an up-and-coming Protoss player from North America. He's been streaming quite a bit as well if you want to check him out. But yeah, the map is going to be Polypoid, and I'm excited to see what's going to go down here. Some good old PvZ, see what type of styles these two are going to be bringing. I can't say that I've seen Just play Protoss versus Zerg. Definitely seen some Zerg versus Protoss from StRyKeR. Did have him in that Ascension tournament and all that, but we'll see what types of updated styles that they're bringing here today. Now, it looks like with the type of scouting we're seeing from Just, it does definitely look like it's likely to be a Forge expansion. Yeah, the way his probe is coming down right now, I believe he's going to go ahead, start that Forge, maybe even scout to the south with this probe. There's the Forge, and down goes the probe. Very cool. Over on StRyKER's side, yeah, that looks like that was an overpool. So pretty standard as far as his opener goes. I don't imagine we're going to see Just try a cannon rush or anything like that. It's not really going to work against an overpool, but he will probably have to make a cannon relatively quickly. Now, the drone comes out, sees that probe. Probe going to be coming in. His minerals shooting up here for Just. I'm sure he wants to make the Nexus, but definitely going to have to throw a cannon down first, right? Or not. Maybe well, I don't know PvZ builds all that well, so I guess in this situation, yeah, we only have 2 lings being made. Seems like he feels like he can get the Nexus and then throw down a cannon right afterwards, skipping some extra probe production there to get that all to fit together. And look at that. Yeah, gets a nice scout off. Sees that it is, in fact, just 2 lings, so he really doesn't have to be too worried about this as long as his cannon finishes up. And with the lings chasing his probe, that's not going to be an issue. So, of course, from here, we should be seeing Just go ahead and throw down his gateway, get his gas, his cybernetics core, and all that while trying to keep this probe alive. StRyKER going to take this 6 o'clock third base. Okay, that's kind of interesting to take right there. It is a little bit further away, but since he's against a Forge expansion, I guess it's going to be a while before any Zealots are really out on the map to give him any pressure, so shouldn't be that big a deal. Although I feel like I see on Polypoid more Zergs go for this third location when they're this type of spawn, you know, when you're like vertical, because the easier to take the third up a ramp would be this one, but it's like so close to Protoss, you wouldn't want to take that, right? But yeah, we'll see if that actually affects anything here for StRyKER. Now, he does have over 100 gas, starts the layer, and just gets the perfect scout off onto that. Gas coming up. And yeah, zergling with his little fingertips there, watching that wall. Sees the timing of the gateway finishing up. And I mean, these openers are pretty darn standard. So I don't feel like there's any big mind games or anything going on, none that I've detected so far. Speed just get started now for StRyKER. Still chasing that probe down, but really droning heavily, right? Like he's not making any extra zerglings or anything. Just trying to be as greedy as is possible against this Forge opener. But we'll see if this first Zealot goes out and across the map. I feel like he's got enough scouting intel that he can definitely send this Zealot down and see if there's anything that can be done. But looks like he's going to sit it in the wall for now. He does have the Stargate coming up. Second gas being made. All right, Spire coming up for StRyKER. No big surprise there. He does have access to 3 gases, although you'd never get them this early. Honestly, even for mutas at this point, no one gets the second gas that quickly. Okay, comes back, and yeah, I mean, I guess he just wants to make a tight wall in case a flood of Zerglings comes out. And kind of amazing to see Just make it back with that initial probe as well. So not really losing anything so far this game. Citadel coming up. That Spire almost halfway. Should be able to get at least one Overlord with his Corsair before the Scourge are out. And pretty greedy game overall, I would say, from StRyKeR, right? He's only got 6 Zerglings at this point. Just droning like crazy. +1 started now for Just. Okay, another gateway up as well. Templar Archives coming. And here we go. Just got to get that scout off. And, you know, the trend for Korean pros right now, it's very, very popular to go delayed mutas, like get your Scourge out, chase the Corsair back, and then go Mutalisks, because they just can't tell. Now, with that second gas being taken, I wonder if that can be a little bit of a tell that he's going mutas. It doesn't necessarily need to be. Like, you can just get the gas, like pop out your Scourge, get your upgrades going, and we do have the Hydralisk Den on the way, an Evolution Chamber over here at the 3rd base. A couple additional macro hatcheries as well, so we're going up to 5 hatch already. Corsair going back home. DT is on the way. And some Scourge going across. Okay, so we have Hydralisk speed start immediately, as well as that +1 ranged attack. So it doesn't look like we're going to see that drop of a few mutas, which is, again, in the Korean scene, it's been very, very popular as of late. Kind of late on the cannon, maybe a little bit greedy here from Just. Overlord speed coming up right now as well for StRyKeR, so maybe kind of sniffing out the fact that there are DTs on the way. The DT walks out. That was a quick find. You don't get an audio alert when a DT one-shots a Ling or a drone, so kind of nice. Moves that back right away, and the Invisible Man will make his way across the map. We'll see what he can get done. There's an Overlord here, some Hydras. Doesn't seem like he can get too much done here. Yeah, obviously the front base really well defended. Main base doesn't have any Overlords, but does that matter, right? Like, you got to get past everything first, which doesn't look likely at the moment. All right, DT coming up to this 3rd. And, I mean, it gets a decent scout, but... Oh, no! Loses the DT so quickly right there. That is definitely not good news. So it's making their way across the map. Some gateways being added on. Oh, okay. Almost missed that, but it looks like he tried to utilize the Zealots to kind of tank hits and slip a DT in for that additional damage. Didn't end up working out, and as the Hydras come in force, the Zealots have to turn around, taking some significant damage on at least one of them, losing another. Overlord speed, of course, done. +1 armor is on the way. +1 attack still coming for the Hydras, as well as that range. More gates being added, so we're going up to 7. Is it just going to be 7? If it's just 7, I guess he probably wants to make a Nexus pretty quickly here. Much more common nowadays to go 8. The pylon goes down. I like the placement, actually. It seems like this is all on one decently macroable screen. Second Forge on the way. Ooh, I like that as well from Just. I really like double Forge plays coming out of Protoss players. Those upgrades really worth so much, the amount of battles you're taking. Now, StRyKeR getting some intel, walking forward with his Hydras. We do have a couple High Templars sitting back here. Already have a lot of mana, so can't imagine the Hydras being able to do anything up here at the front. Oh, another gateway does get added. Okay, so he's into some serious production at this point. Robo coming up, getting ready. Maybe he'll start range relatively soon here, unless he just wants some more High Templars first. Looking over on this side, looks like Lurker's on the way here for StRyKeR. Taking his 4th base, kind of the connector base in between the two. So a little spread of Hydras around. The Zealots still running around the map, just kind of making sure where there are and are not bases. Good map control, it feels like, from StRyKeR overall. Like, he's really been kind of patrolling around, right? We've seen this Ling up here for a long time. He's definitely been flying back and forth with some Scourge, kind of checking out this area quite a bit. He's basically looking to see if a 3rd base is coming, if an attack is coming. Of course, on Just side, he is running around with those Zealots still, which is very, very useful. To just know, for instance, that your opponent is just in, like, this one big area, right? Like, that's their first 4 bases. That's a lot of intel. Okay, Zealots running down. They do have 1/1, right? Oh, no, +1 armor. Almost done, almost done. A lot of lurkers being made, so that's going to be pretty hard to break through. I don't believe that we have Dragoon range yet, or maybe he did sneak it in earlier when I was not paying attention. Oh, okay, so he actually doesn't have +1 range here. So I guess he did already get that Dragoon range, or at +1 air attacks. Okay, pushing back these Hydras. Now, StRyKeR has more supply than Just, and that's not a good thing, obviously. Right, like we were talking about it before. StRyKeR's play looked maybe a little bit greedy. Maybe just needed to try to push out a little bit more against him. But as is, we're gonna have a lot of lurkers down here. StRyKeR has a ridiculous amount of drones at this point, like a silly amount of drones. Just getting ready to take this third base location. Ooh, Hydra's coming up. Can they get a snipe on a High Templar? That would be absolutely gigantic. They actually go after a probe. Okay, well, they definitely eat a lot of damage from that Psy Storm, but they kill off one of the High Templars that had a lot of energy on it. So definitely a strong snipe. More and more Hydras and Lurkers being produced. Yeah, more Dragoons being added in as well. I think at this point, like, it seems like it's his plan anyways to kind of sit back, and it makes sense, right? Like, he got 2 Forges really quickly. So he's going to have that +2 attack relatively soon. +2 armor won't be that far behind. He's massing up Dragoons. He's massing up High Templars. And he's playing against a circuit that doesn't have Hive yet. Now, I see that the Queen's Nest is on the way. So eventually we are going to get up to Hive and Defilers. But Just can kind of sit back, take this base, sit defensively, pick off what he can, you know, between the Dragoon range and the nice storms. And look, yeah, I mean, he's getting some decent storms off. He's getting some decent picks. But yeah, I guess if he sits back, waits for his 2/2, masses up really, really heavily, he should be able to take some decent fights. More and more Dragoons being created for Just right now. Hive is on the way, so that does make me a little bit nervous. Some Lings starting to get hatched as StRyKeR's gas very, very low. Would love to see a melee attack upgrade come in. One of the best upgrades in the game for those Zerglings. Now, the way Just is moving, it kind of looks like he wants to expand to his 4th base now, which is pretty common on Polypoid. Anywhere where you take a mineral only 3rd base. Ooh, a nice snipe there on the High Templar. But normally when you take a mineral only 3rd base, it kind of gives you the minerals to take a 4th base that has gas. It's a little bit harder to take. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what we end up seeing here. Him just plopping a Nexus down up there. But as is, StRyKeR with a ton of supply right now. All right, Just moving back. All right, here we go. Comes up with those Lurkers. That's pretty clumped. Okay, he does turn around. StRyKeR might be getting a little ahead of himself. It's almost 2/2 upgrades here for Just. Ooh, he's flying his observers into the Psystorms. Does save them both. But the Hydras turn around and do end up sniping one. Just continuing to push forward. The other observer gets sniped, but he's just going to storm down the Lurkers anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But there is a flank coming in right now of these Zerglings. Adrenal not quite ready, but the Psystorms are gone. Only Dragoons left over for Just, who must run away. That flanking maneuver doing a very nice job. Just running back to his high ground. He is making that 4th base, but doesn't have great defense up there at the moment. Oh, man. Another Psystorm coming down. A nice one indeed, but StRyKER starting to really macro here, starting to come up with a flank of these Lings. They do have their +1 carapace. Adrenal almost done for them, but they're fighting against 2/2 units. The thing is, the Lurkers and Hydras doing some significant damage here, really softening up these Zealots at the moment. I think he will be able to kill off these Lurkers, but just barely so. He doesn't have much supply to speak of from here. Meanwhile, we have StRyKER really macro up. Look at the amounts of Lings starting to pop up. He does have Consume for his Defilers on the way. So those Dark Storms starting to become a factor pretty shortly. The Zealots, I mean, great upgrades, but not enough army here for Just, unfortunately. The Lings coming up, getting on top of the Nexus and the Warping and Cannons. I think we're going to be seeing GG here. just momentarily, and StRyKeR takes out Just.